Hey, good morning.
Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile tenderly.
I'm gonna have to go take you to another
In
room.
the peaceful dreams I see, the road leads back to you. I said, Georgia, oh Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia. Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see.
Good morning. Good morning, team.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. It's a beautiful morning outside. I don't know if you guys have been outside. It's nice, fresh air. Not as cold as it was yesterday.
I know.
Let me turn this off. And let's give everyone a couple of minutes to log in. How has everyone's week been? Have you guys done anything fun and exciting? Have you guys had any big wins or challenges this week that you guys would like to share with the group?
I've been, it's personal. I go to my daughter's volleyball tournaments, and this weekend they had a real good one in Midland.
Oh,
They went
nice.
undefeated for the first day. That was nice to watch.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Have you had a chance to like talk to any of the parents there and like really kind of make sure that they know what you do?
Oh yes, actually, I was talking to one of the moms, and she was telling me that she had a friend. Well, she has a friend that is looking for land because she wants to build. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to find her land. I know she already has a realtor,
Okay.
but what we do as builders, we try to buy the land, right? And then we just sell her the house.
Mhm.
So we're working on it.
So you're trying to get
We're
her
working
from
on
the
that.
sell side. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nice. Does she have a time frame
Hopefully.
in mind?
Not really, because she wants an acre.
Okay.
And you know how that is. I mean,
Yeah.
the only places right now would be like in the outside, like Chaparral or like Anthony. Really, because here, Santa Teresa, New Mexico, everything is packed. I mean, there's no 1 acre lots anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
What about right there, like
no,
on Gato? Ya no hay?
Gato.
Gato, it's
I
like
remember that.
it's like right before you hit. So it's in between Santa Teresa and what is that? Upper Valley, I believe.
West Side.
West Side Drive.
Right in between West Side and Santa Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've been trying to look because there's this other prospect that is also looking into building, and she wants to do West Side, either New Mexico or Texas. And we just found one in Upper Valley just last night. My husband is kind of working on that, but
Yeah.
I just got into the app and I saw it. I sent it to him, and he's gonna send it to her today because she wants to build.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they want big lots. And I found one in Luna Azul Drive in Chaparral.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out, like, because you know, since it's out there,
Yeah.
most of them need the septic system or
Yeah.
a well. So we're trying to
Mhm.
find that out
Yeah. Yeah.
before
It's
we
different
even
out
offer
there.
it.
It's different out there, but I would imagine that, like, from the builder's perspective, it might be better. Just because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
I
then
think,
this one, so what we do, because this one that we're looking at, it's actually 2 acre. So
mhm,
she only wants one, and it's like really cheap. So my husband is like, let's see, you know, let's get the information. And then, so what he does is he divides it,
yeah,
obviously. And so the other houses are like the other land, it's when we sell it, it's kind of free
yeah,
because, you know what I mean? Because you already um, got paid for this, but then
mhm,
you're dividing it,
mhm,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
So
That's good. That's
we'll see how that
awesome.
goes.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have some good things in the works. Um,
The only thing is just that they're long processes, you know? It's a long process. It's not like buying a house where, you know, you want to buy it, you put the offer and you hope that it lasts for that it, you know, the process is takes 45 days. This is it takes longer.
yeah.
But we're there.
Yeah,
We're
yeah, it
moving.
really tests your patience. But, you
Yeah.
know, the nice thing is that when you guys get like resales or homes that are being built, now you have something further out. Try to pick up a couple of resales, you know, try to have a couple of
Yeah.
resales in your belt that we have something coming, you know, closer, closings coming closer.
You know what? I want to say something, Denise.
Uh-huh.
I've been, this week has been, I had started so good and so positive, and I'm like, I got this, and I'm going to do this and that. And then I felt like a little downhill, and I'm like, oh no, like I'm stuck again. Like, what do I do? I don't have prospects. Like I was talking to all these people, but they don't seem interested, or they seem like they're interested, but like in the long run. So I get, you know, desperate.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah. And so I'm like, you know what? No. Like I have people that I'm working with, and like I said, you know, it takes time, and I've been, you know, in contact with them and letting them know, hey, you know, I haven't found anything, but I want you to know that I'm still looking. Don't get
Hmm.
desperate. That's what I'm getting. I'm
Yeah.
desperate because I can't find anything. But I'm like, it'll get there. It's just
Yeah.
um, a matter of time. So I
Yeah.
just need to get that into my head.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Norma, because I think it's really important for everybody to know that we're going to have our good days and we're going to have our bad days. Like I had a bad day yesterday. It was just not what it was supposed to be. It didn't go as planned. We had a really rough morning in the morning with the girls. I just had like a really rough day yesterday. Um, and I think what's important is for you to know, like you're gonna have those days. They're gonna happen. They're gonna happen. So when you feel that they're happening, you know pretty early on in the morning that it's gonna be one of those days. Um, just do your best to remind yourself, like, look, it's gonna be one of these days. Let me do what I can comfortably, but don't overexert yourself to where tomorrow you're frustrated also. If you start feeling like you're in a slump, like for a whole week, and if it's like deal related, because I don't have anything coming through, just go back to the basics. Don't overthink it. Just go back to the basics. Pick up your phone and call somebody. It doesn't have to be a prospect. It can be a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. It can be a cousin you haven't talked to in a while. It can be a tia, tío. Just pick up the phone and start calling, because what you're doing is you're building the momentum. And you're going to talk about work. If you're a realtor, you put in so many hours. Our job takes up so much of our life. It's gonna come up, and you're just building that momentum. So don't get down on yourself. Like, don't overthink it. Allow yourself to have that bad day. Do what you can that day. Like, for example, yesterday I had so much stuff that I needed to get done. I had so much stuff that I needed to get done. It started off really rough. I wasn't feeling the best. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to complete everything. So we picked 2 tasks that were kind of easy. One that I really just kind of gave to Anaí and she helped me out with it. And then the other one was just like, we have a closing coming up today. I was like, let's go to Target and get them their closing gifts. It wasn't anything that was going to really take any mental energy for me that I really didn't have to offer at the time. I couldn't. I didn't have it to offer. So if I don't have it to offer, why am I going to give myself a task that I know is just going to make things worse for me? You know what I mean? So we went shopping. We went and got the closing gift that we knew we were going to need this week at some point. And it at least got me out of the house. It at least built a little bit of momentum. It allowed me to get something done that I needed to get done. It wasn't top priority in the moment, but I got something done that I needed to get done. So it helped me feel a little bit better about myself. And at the end of the night, always at the end of the night, whenever you guys have a bad day, remind yourself that today is over. Whatever happened or didn't happen, it's over now. The day has come to an end, and tomorrow we will try again. And honestly, whenever I have a bad day, I feel like telling myself that at night. The next day, I almost wake up with more energy and more excitement because I kind of feel like, well, there's nowhere to go but up from here. I'm not going to have a day like I had yesterday. You know, I'll put myself to sleep early. Like, I'm not even going to try to do anything extra. Like, I'm just going to put myself to sleep early. And today's a new day. And that's the attitude that I wake up with. Now, it might not be the best day ever, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to build momentum negatively. And that's how we go into those slumps. So if you're having a bad day, allow yourself to have that bad day. Allow yourself to be there. And at the end of the day, just remind yourself, okay, it's over. It's done. We're going to try again tomorrow. And that's how you don't allow it to be something that's like a bad day and then another bad day and then another bad day. And now I'm in a slump where I have had a whole week where I haven't done anything. We don't want that. That we don't want, because that's going to be 10 times harder to pull you out of. Okay. All right. So I think everybody's on right now. I want to send a couple of shout outs out. First shout out to Miss Angie Hines. Angie came out in December to our Christmas party. We really hadn't seen her before that. She wasn't super active. She came out and she said, hey guys, I quit my job. I'm going into real estate full time. And since then, she has been hitting it so hard. She's been prospecting. She's been getting some really good leads. Yesterday, she met somebody just while she was out and about shopping that happens to know Gabriel. So she had a little bit of that, you know, oh yeah, I know Gabriel, so I feel comfortable working with you, Angie. You work with Gabriel? Yeah, I feel comfortable working with you. It's a $250,000 lead buyer, and so she's working that today, and hopefully that's gonna be her first client coming up. So huge shout out to Angie. She's been doing everything that we've been talking about, and it's definitely paying off for her right now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good job. Pat on the back because you deserve it. I have another shout out, Miss Ethel. Ethel had her first closing this past week. It was her first closing like of her clients, her lead that she went out and got and she went out and found. And she's closing one of our clients this week. And this is a client that we have been working. So this is a client that I had been working for months. You know, some of your clients are a little more difficult than others. Some of them require a little more attention. Some of them are not as ready. I had been working with these clients. Honestly, I think I'm probably going on a whole year now. When I met with Ethel, when we first started with Realty One, assigned her these clients and like, hey, you know, it's going to be a slow process with them, get to know them. She was able to close them on a property, and we should be closing on that today, Ethel? Yes, today. So congratulations. Pat on the
Thank
back.
you.
You ladies deserve it. You guys are doing awesome. So I mean, I really love it, and I love to see you guys grow, and I love to see that, you know, you guys are putting yourself out there and making things happen. So good job, you guys. Keep up the good work. I'm gonna go ahead and start my screen unless anybody else has something else that they want to share before we start. No? Good to go? Okay, let me share my screen then. And we're gonna jump right back in. A lot of what we just kind of went over actually has a lot to do with what we're going to be going over today. We've been going over communication a lot with our clients. And so we're going to kind of get back into that again today. 17. I hate that this thing doesn't, it makes me like go through all these slides, but it is what it is. So we were talking about the sales cycle. And this is actually, all right. I'll put you guys down here. All right, building relationships. We did that one. I think the biggest thing when we're talking about communication, I took a course. I read a book on communication. I read a couple of books on communication. And if you guys haven't read any books on communication yet, I highly, highly recommend it. Communication is one of those things that we're not really taught. We're not really given, we're taught very loosely in school, right? So we go to pre-K, kindergarten, elementary school, and we're kind of sort of taught how to communicate because we're thrown into this classroom with a bunch of other little kids our age, and we're just kind of told like, go play and go have fun, right? But nobody ever really like sits down and teaches us like what is good communication and what is not good communication. Like, how do I know if I'm being a good communicator? And I feel like a lot of people think, okay, well, there's an introvert and there's an extrovert. And if you're an extrovert, you're good at communicating. And if you're an introvert, you're not good at communicating. And that's not true. That's 100% not true. Extroverted and introverted personalities, even though we're talking about forms of communication, it's not really that. You can be an introvert and have better communication than an extrovert. And here's why. Extroverts tend to like to talk to people, okay? So those are the people that it doesn't matter where you take them, they're gonna find somebody to talk to. They're gonna have a friend. At the end of the night, they're gonna get somebody's phone number or somebody's Instagram, and you're like, how do they do that? How do they just talk to everybody? And then an introvert is somebody that that is just a little more reserved. They're more observant. They like to observe. While your introverts a lot of times tend to be better communicators for the reason that they're really good at listening because they're observers. And so what I've come to realize is I've had a little bit of introvert and extrovert in my life. I was really, really shy when I was little. Then I became very, very extroverted. And I feel like getting into real estate, I had to learn how to kind of bring it all back and balance it out. And that's really what communication is. It's a balance and it's a dance. Every time I talk to you guys about trainings, you're going to hear me talk about a dance because it's a back and forth. We give a little bit and we take a little bit.
Sí.
And that's really important for you to be observant of every time you are in a communication
Sí.
with somebody. Like every time you're communicating with somebody. Hang on. Gabriel, can you mute yourself, please? I think I can mute him. Oh, I got him. Okay. So every time that you're in a communication transaction with somebody, just remember, like try to give yourself a reminder that we're given one mouth, but we're given 2 ears and 2 eyes. Okay. And it's because we're really supposed to be observing and listening twice as much as we're supposed to be speaking. So we really want to focus on the questions that we're asking, right? We have a lot of questions that we need to ask so that we can understand what our client's going to need. But remember to listen. And that's why it's so important that you guys always have something to write on. Like, no matter where I go, you're almost never going to see me with something to write on. And that's because when you're so caught up on trying to figure out what's the next right question to ask, especially for the newbies, because the newbies, you guys are going to be that's where your head's at. Your head is thinking about, what else do I have to ask? What else do I have to ask? And you don't do it with a bad intention. There's no bad intention there. You're just trying to do your job to the best of your ability. So you're trying to make sure you remember the questions. But in trying to figure out what you're going to say next, you don't listen to what the client is saying. And so you have to take notes, and you have to allow yourself the time to digest this information and review it. So that's why we're talking about investigate, and review that information, and then validate. So validate is going to be asking those follow-up questions. So for example, if they're saying, how many times have you talked to somebody and they say, oh yeah, I'm already pre-qualified? Okay, great. How much are you pre-qualified for? 250,000. That's awesome. Who'd you get pre-qualified with? GCU. Boom, boom, boom. If they know the answers to the question this quick, and they're like, oh yeah, and my lender is Blanca so-and-so, I can give you her number and her email address if you want it. That's validation. If you're asking them, are they pre-qualified? And then you ask the follow-up questions and they're like, well, I think it was like 350, I think, like 250 to 350. Like, no. Nobody pre-qualifies you for 250 to 350. Like, that's not even a thing. Who'd you get pre-qualified with? I don't remember the name of the bank. I think it was, well, was it your bank? No, it was, and there's like a lot of hesitation. That's where you kind of have to like just make that mental note of, there's hesitation there. Maybe there's something they're not telling me. Maybe they're not pre-qualified and they think that I only want to talk to them if they are pre-qualified, which is not the case. Now, you never want to call somebody a liar. Don't call somebody a liar and don't assume that they're lying. But at this point, it's kind of like, well, whatever it is that you did or you said that you did, it's not enough to get us to the next step of looking at homes, because the information's not there, right? So why don't we do this? Can you give me the information to your lender? Are you able to give me that? Do you have it somewhere available to you? You know what? Don't even worry about it. Why don't we do this? Why don't I refer you to one of my preferred lenders? I have preferred lenders here in the city. I love them because they're really great to work with and they have the best rates. And we just kind of get your process started all over again. That way you don't have to dig in all those emails and find your lender. How about that? And so I don't assume that they're lying, but they really haven't given me enough information to move on to that next step. I'm here. I got to get that step, right? So that's what we mean by validation. Again, you have to ask all the right questions. You have to ask them for that proof of pre-qualification. If they're saying they're pre-qualified, they shouldn't have a problem giving you that pre-qualification. Payoff amounts when you're working with listings. How many times do they tell you, I owe about $50,000. Okay, I need you to order that payoff amount. Okay, you need to order that payoff amount and you need to get that to us as soon as possible, because I'm telling you that based off of what you're telling me, you're going to net $130,000, but we need that payoff amount to give you a better estimate. And that's how I'm not calling anybody a liar. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're talking about, but they're giving me an estimate. I'm giving them an estimate. Let's get all the information together. That way we can validate it and get you the best information possible. And then educate. You always want to educate your clients, always. This is definitely this definitely has to be part of your value proposition, okay? Because remember, you're a professional in your field, and the people that you're working with are not. Usually, typically, they're not professionals in that same field. And so think about it like when you go to the doctor. If you go to the doctor and you have a pain in your side that's bothering you, you go to the doctor, you don't just want them to tell you, here, take this pill and it's going to fix it. You want them to ask the right questions to figure out, like, okay, how long has this been going on? Has there been a change in diet? Is there a change in your work environment? Like, you want them to ask all the right questions. You don't want them to just be like, oh, you have a pain in your side? Here's the pill. Like, you would not feel comfortable with that. You'd be like, what is this? Like, how do they even know that this is what I'm supposed to have? That kind of goes back to that one example. I think last week I was talking about how sometimes we come off a little bit too desperate because we don't ask the right questions. And right away we're like, okay, yeah, let me take you to go look at a house. Or yeah, I can help you. And it's like, well, how do you know? You didn't even ask the right questions. They expect you to ask questions. So ask the right questions and then educate the client. So just like when you go to the doctor, if they give you something to take away the pain, don't you also want to know, well, what do I need to not do or do so that this doesn't happen anymore? Like, okay, the pill's going to take away the pain temporarily, but should I avoid anything? Should I avoid sugars or caffeine or red meat, or like what was it that started it in the beginning, right? So it's a very similar concept. And then close the sale, close it. So if we're working with buyers, you always want to end your conversation after a consultation with, can I be your realtor? Can I represent you? If any of you guys have ever seen my buyers, first time home buyers consultation, I end the consultation with, can I be your realtor? That's how you close the deal. If you've ever seen how I do a listing, it's, can we represent you in the sale of your home? You have to close it. You have to ask for the business. And a lot of times, realtors fall short at the educate. They do everything that they have to do, and then they're afraid of closing it. They're afraid of asking the big question. Don't assume that they're going to tell you, okay, yeah, you can help me. You can't assume it. You have to ask for the business. Because remember, every time that we talk to a client, we're essentially asking for a job. We're essentially there for an interview. So you have to close it out with, hey, did I get the job? Okay. All objections are fear-based, fear of losing money, losing face, or losing control. The first objection is almost never the actual objection. What is the real concern? So again, when we're investigating, so whenever you're in the middle of trying to get the close, so either you're working with a buyer and you want them to say yes to submitting the offer because you know this house is perfect for them, or you're working with a seller and they're unsure about whether they want to sign that listing agreement, right? If there's an objection, it's almost always fear-based. So you have to figure out what is their concern. That is a question that you should be asking if you've gone through all the information that you need to go through, and there's a concern there and you do not know what that concern is, but you can tell that it's there because they're hesitating. You have to ask, what is your concern? That's the question. What is your concern? And then let them talk. Let them talk, because a lot of times, first, none of us are mind readers, okay? There's a lot of different concerns that a lot of different people can have. So give them the opportunity to voice that concern. Their concern might be so simple, so minute, and something that you can easily take care of. But if you don't ask the question and you're sensing that hesitation in them and you don't ask the question, you're going to lose the sale. So if you feel the hesitation, if you sense the hesitation, ask, what is your concern? So they might say something like, well, my concern is that we're listing the property too low. I don't think that we're listing it at a good price. Okay, Mr. Seller, I can understand that. Always make sure that you're giving them the acknowledgement that you heard what they said, right? I acknowledge that I heard what you said. Okay, I can understand that. I can respect that. I see where you're coming from. Okay, I understand. Now, remember, Mr. Seller, when we went through the CMA, I showed you that the highest listed home was at $260,000. This home was actually 100 square feet higher than yours, or bigger than yours, 100 square feet bigger than yours, and it has a more updated kitchen than yours. It would be my concern if we list your property too high that it would sit on the market and it would have a stale reputation after a while because it's listed too high. Now, remember, when I reviewed all of this information with you, I explained to you X, Y, and Z, and sometimes it's just reviewing a little bit of what you've already told them one more time, just pinpointing their objection. So losing money, like, I'm here to get you every single penny you deserve. If I thought we could list it higher, I would list it higher. Remember, I get paid a percentage of what I sell. So if I can list it higher and I can sell it higher, don't you think I would do that? I would definitely do that. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by listing it too high and then having it go stale on the market. Does that make sense? Okay, yes, Denise, thank you. Whatever, moving on. So always speak to their concern. Listen, and be empathetic towards it. Sometimes their concern can be something to the extent of the timing. Okay. This one's tricky. You know, this is where you have to put your client's needs first. A lot of times the timing is just not right for them. And I'm the kind of realtor that's gonna allow them the time that they need. And some realtors are gonna push to get it done now. Now, if I can get you something that's gonna, if we can, remember, we're problem solvers. So if we can find a solution to where we can get it done sooner than later and still take care of your concern, then awesome. But if your concern is just like, look, I'm just not ready to move until May, then that is what it is. I work on your time frame, Mr. Buyer or Seller. If that's when it's a better time for you, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to be ready whenever you're ready. And they'll respect that. Okay. But the main thing is you have to get to the bottom of what that concern is and then speak on it. Validation. It does not mean that you agree. It means that you hear and understand. Validation creates safety. Get them to lower the shield, exercise the muscle of patience. Again, it's basically everything that we talked about. Be patient, be empathetic, and be understanding. At the end of the day, they're human and they have a whole nother life outside of this home that they're trying to buy or sell, just like you guys have a whole nother life outside of your realtor life. Okay, so just be empathetic and understanding towards that. Timing is everything. Do not educate too soon. Ask for permission. I have information that will help. May I share it with you? I can show you a better way. Would you like to hear it? Right. So we're a lot of times super eager to give out a bunch of information, but we could also maybe not be mindful of what they have going on. So for example, if you guys are going to do cold calling, for example, if you're going to do cold calling and you're just going to call and like give info, let's say you guys picked a farm area, right? I picked a farm area and I'm going to call everybody in that area and I'm going to explain to them what the market is looking like. I don't want to pick up the phone and then they answer and they're like, hello. And I'm like, hey, this is Denise Franco with Realty One. Did you know that X, Y, la, 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 and just go off with everything that I'm talking about? Like, no, that's not cool. I want to answer and like, hey, this is Denise Franco with Realty One. Did I catch you at a good time? Do you have a few minutes to talk? When you're calling your clients too, if you can hear like noise in the background, a lot of times they're at work, like ask them, hey, did I catch you at a good time? Or do you want me to call you back? Especially with your clients. A lot of times they're answering thinking that it's an emergency and it's not an emergency. So just be mindful of that. And then again, ask for permission just to make sure that your timing's good. And then close. The most overlooked or avoided step of salespeople. You cannot lose what you don't have to begin with. Ask for the agreement. It's everything that we went over, right? You have to ask for the agreement. Otherwise, it's not real. Don't assume that they are going to give it to you. Okay. Meanings and words. We're not going to go over that one. Learning personality types. Okay, so we've talked about personality types before. You guys can look up different types of personality types, and there's all sorts of different personality types. One of the very first courses that I went through, they showed us a specific type of personality type that I love to use just personally myself whenever I'm going through sales stuff. This is another chart of personality types that Realty One has provided for us. Let me see if it has the so it basically breaks it down into the controller / director. So a lot of time this is going to be like the this is somebody that I would refer to as your driver. Okay, it's good for you to learn what type of personality your client is so that you can cater to them better. Okay, that's the reason that we want to know people's personality types. So again, you guys can research also different types of personality types. You guys can take the DISC test. Some of you guys have already taken the DISC test. DISC as in DISC. Tony Robbins has a really cool test. DISC test. I like to take it like maybe once a year just to kind of see where my personality is. And this is really, really similar. It's kind of like a branch off. Different people name their personalities different things. So this is Realty One's take on it, and I'm going to kind of go over it with you guys. This is going to help you to build better rapport with your clients. Okay, so we talk about building rapport because remember, clients like to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So first they need to know you. There's some form of introduction, whether it's online or in person. They need to know you. They need to like you. And people like themselves. People like themselves, or people like people people that they look up to, people that they want to be like. Okay, so if you're going to land within one of those two categories, you also kind of need to know who they are. What kind of personality are they? And then you cater to that personality. Okay, so in this example, you're going to see the quadrants, and you're going to see the 4 personality types inside of the quadrants. Okay, on the top left corner, you're going to see the controller or the director. This is a client that I would refer to as a driver. They like to drive the situation. They like to control the situation. They like to direct the situation. These clients used to be the hardest for me to deal with. These clients, I had to really put in work to figure out how to deal with these clients, because with these clients, they don't want you to control the situation. They want to control the situation. And in our field of work, we have to control the sale. If we do not control the sale, we're going to lose it. Things can go wrong. You're the professional. They are not the professional. So with these guys, if you're naturally a softer human, if you're naturally a very accommodating human, it could be easy for them to take you and do whatever they want to do. And then you're 2/3 down the process of the transaction and you're like, crap, how did I get here? Why are we here right now? Why did we do this, this, and this? And it's because your client took control. So the best way to deal with these guys is you have to be in control from the very beginning. And you also have to allow them to win. Okay. So they like to put up a little bit of a fight. They like to feel like they won. Like they that's their thing. They want to feel like they won. So for example, if you're dealing with a controller, slash director, and you're going into a listing agreement, a listing consultation. Let's say you're going into a listing consultation and you're dealing with a controller. You really need to start your listing price a lot lower than where you're gonna want to be, and you have to allow them to negotiate you up to the price that you're going to want to be at. You have to know going in, I'm going to have to negotiate with this person. So if ever there's a big decision that's going to have to be made, you have to put your negotiating hat on and you have to really work it with them. Okay. The analyzer on the top right, the analyzer is going to be your analytical person. Okay. They are the person that wants numbers. They want numbers. They want graphs. They want charts. Okay. It doesn't matter how fluffy and pretty and vibrant and how many smiles you throw their way. It does not matter. The numbers matter to them. So with them, you have to make sure that you come prepared with the numbers. They're the ones that are going to want to see how many on average, how many days on the market do homes sit in this neighborhood? On average, what's the dollar per square foot? On average, how many sales have you sold this year? What's your average sales price? Like they want to know the numbers, but they want to know the numbers for their stuff and what matters. So know their property better than they know their property. When you walk into their property, know what the square footage of their home is. Know what year it was built. Know how long stuff lasts. You know, like any opportunity you have to throw out a number, throw the number out. If you know the number, throw it out there. That's going to make them respect you more because that's what they know and understand. And this is a lot of times going to be like your engineers, your accountants, architects. Yeah, those are like the top 3, I think. Top 3 careers. Okay. And then if we go down to the bottom right, we're going to have the supporter, the relator. This is somebody that I would refer to as the social conscience. So these are the people that are very green usually. They're very concerned about everybody else. Does everybody else feel good? Is everybody else doing okay? How are my decisions going to affect my community? That's the way that their mind works. Okay. So for these people, if you find somebody that's a supporter, that's, for example, let's say we find a couple that's a supporter, they want to buy a new home, and they're thinking about investing. They might be great for doing fix and flip projects because you can explain to them, hey, did you know that whenever investors pick up these properties, these are distressed properties. A lot of times it's an eyesore in the community. An investor comes in, they clean it up and fix it up, and they actually add value to the entire community by doing this. That's one of these people might really enjoy doing that. Okay, because they feel like they're benefiting a bigger good for that matter. And then the bottom left, the promoter, the socializer, this is going to be your very social person. This is going to be the person that knows everybody, talks to everybody. You can take them anywhere and they will make friends everywhere. Very, very social, typically pretty high energy person, typically pretty positive, good vibes there. You know, people like to be around them. And with them, they're usually the ones where you really just want to build rapport on likability. First, they want to be able to carry a conversation with you and trust you. Okay, that's always a must. And I think that's a must for everybody. Everybody's going to want to know that they can trust you. But with them, it's about building that rapport and being a little bit more, getting a little more personal with them. Get a little more personal with them. They appreciate and they respect knowing a little bit more about your personal life because they want to tell you about theirs. And so you can build that rapport and find a commonality amongst your personal lives. They're going to really appreciate that. So you're also going to see, let me move this. You're also going to see how they broke it up into these 4 quadrants. And then they also give you, along these lines, they say, what does the relationship kind of look like? Like up here, you see that it's a very formal and task-oriented relationship. So if you're dealing with one of these 2 guys, you have to remember that the way that they work best in business is very formal and very task-oriented. They are not social butterflies typically. So you don't want to come into these guys' homes and try to build rapport off of, oh, I see that your daughter's in ballet. Oh, that's so cute. Or, oh, I love your blinds. Like, you're going to rub them the wrong way. They're super task oriented and down to business. So that's why it's important for you to know and understand these personality types very quickly, because now you can go in and say, okay, let me not speak on the cute fluffy chair in the living room. They're not going to care about that. They want to know numbers and they want to be the negotiator. You can also see right here, the analyzer or the thinker, they're gonna flow a little bit more than they are gonna be as structured. And this one's hard for me because the analyzer, they're pretty structured. They are very structured. So I kind of almost feel like this should be over here. If that's just my opinion. So I would say these 2 guys are super structured and super formal and task oriented. Now down here, the promoter, the socializer, these 2 definitely go with the flow a lot more, and it's a lot more of an informal relationship in the sense that, again, you can just get a lot more personal with these guys. So knowing and understanding this, how are you going to know what type of personality you're working with if you've only met them over the phone? What are some telltale signs? Like, as I was going through these personalities, I'm sure certain people popped in your head that you were like, oh, that's a controller, or this person is an analyzer. How do you know? Give me some examples of maybe clients that you guys have talked to or people that you know that you're like, yes, I know for sure this person is this because of this. I want to make sure you guys are really getting this, because this right here, this is a game changer.
I guess just like you said, when you talk to them, they right away ask you things like, so how much is the average of the square feet average selling right now?
Mm-hmm.
So they throw you those kind of questions real quick. You know real quick.
Mm-hmm. And that would be who, Alvaro?
The analyzer.
The analyzer, correct. You'll know it right away. And as soon as you know it, you have to shift gears in your head. You have to shift to like, okay, let me stop socializing. They don't want to socialize. They don't care to socialize. You have to shift you now. Remember, this is how we take control of the sale and we cater to our client. We have to be the consultant that they want us to be. We have to be well-rounded. We have to be all of these personality types. And then we have to bring out the one that they want us to bring out. So you have to be like a chameleon. You have to know how to change with whoever you're talking to. So that's a really good example. Angie, I think you took yourself off of mute. I think you had an example also.
Or when they start talking a lot about their degrees and that they're very educated, things like that.
That would be
When they
who?
try to tell you when they can and they can't do this, and
That would be
this
who?
the controller and analyzer in a bit.
Yeah,
So
that's probably going to be your controller. Your controller is going to want to make it very known to you, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I'm well educated. You're not going to come in here and tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing, right? And so you have to respect them in the sense that, hey, look, I see you know what you're doing, but you also kind of have to puff out your chest a little bit and like, guess what? I know what I'm doing too. You have to, because if you don't, they're not going to respect you and they're going to be like, she's a push around. Okay. I would love to hear somebody else give me an example of what a supporter looks like. How do you know when you're talking to a supporter? Lilia, how do you know when you're talking to a supporter? Don't run away, Lilia. Where'd you go? A ver, but you're on mute. You have to unmute.
Okay, when you give them advice, like you said, you know, you need to unclutter your house, you need to do this, and they do whatever you are asking to do.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
So they follow your advice and they do whatever you ask them to do.
Yeah, and they'll usually like, they want it perfect, huh? They'll ask you like, hey, what about this? And what about this? And did I do this right? Or do you want to come and look at it again? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. They're usually very, very accommodating because they want to know that you're okay. They want to know that you're good. So those people are usually pretty cool to work with. Right? All right. Thank you, Lilia. All right. So let's see, Norma, how do you know when we are talking to a promoter?
To a promoter. Well, I don't know if I have it right, but I had this person, this lady, and whenever we would meet, even like on the phone, she had something else to talk about rather than the house that we were listing. And I was like an hour on the phone, and I didn't have, she was an old lady, so I didn't have the heart to, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I remember she would just keep on talking and talking about other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, you're 1,000% correct. And those people, you have to give them their time. You have to give them their time. And it's good for you to find out who these people are early on, because now when you're going in and you're trying to schedule your day, girl, I know exactly who you're talking about. I had a client, and I mean, I loved her. She was so sweet, also an older lady, but every time I called, I knew that I had to give her.
Thinking about her too.
Anaí, look, I haven't even said her name, and Anaí already knows who I'm talking about. She's like, I know who you're talking about. I had to give her, and I would tell Anaí too, if you call her, don't call her and expect to rush her off the phone. You have to give her at least 30 minutes. You have to. You have to give her 30 minutes because it's impossible not to. Now, there was certain days that, you know, when you're in the middle of the transaction and you're getting stuff done, I'll tell you how to kind of work around that, Norma, because obviously we can't do that with our clients every single day. And especially when you're in the middle of a transaction and it's kind of like, hey, I really just need to call you to tell you like to sign this thing. First, text message as much as possible. With those socializers, you have to text them as much as possible. Or if you have to call them and you know you're not going to have a lot of time, when you answer the phone, the first thing that you want to say is, hey, Mrs. Villanueva, I don't have a whole lot of time to talk, but I just wanted to tell you really quick X, Y, and Z. let them know up front, like, hey, I can't be on the phone with you today a lot. Like, I wish I could, but I really needed to call you and tell you this really quick. Okay. And then stay away from asking the questions that you know are going to get them talking. So don't ask, ¿Cómo le va el día? How's the day going? Don't. Unfortunately, with certain people, you can't, because if you give them a little bit, ooh, they'll take it and run with it for hours. So those and those people are really cool. Those usually turn into like lifelong clients, and they're so sweet. But again, they come with their own set of challenges. So everybody comes with a set of challenges. The supporter, I want to speak on the supporter really quick. The supporter, a lot of time, that their biggest challenge is because they want to please everyone so bad. Well, everyone knows you can't please everybody. You can't make everybody happy. And so a lot of times they get stuck. They just get stuck because they can't make everybody happy. And it's hard sometimes with them to push them towards, hey, this is what's going to work best for you and your situation. And whatever they need or want or would like for you to do, it kind of doesn't matter. It kind of doesn't matter. And so it's hard for you to get them to understand that. So that's going to be that biggest challenge with them. So you see that your director and your controller come with their own set of challenges, but your socializers or your promoters and your supporters, they come with their set of challenges too. So I challenge you guys from this day moving forward for the rest of your life, with every single person that you talk to, the first thing that you want to figure out is, what is their personality type? Where do they fall? And a lot of these personalities, most of us are going to have like one dominant personality. So one of these that's really strong. And then we'll have a secondary. So like, for example, you might meet somebody that is a controller / socializer. They want to control the situation, but they're also very social. Or they're a controller and they're analytical. Or they're analytical and they're a supporter, an analyzer and a supporter. So you want to figure out where they stand, again, because it's going to allow you to cater to them better. It's going to allow you to prepare for them better. Because let's say I'm not dealing with an analyzer. Well, now I know that I don't have to have every single number memorized. I know that I don't have to print out 30 charts and graphs of sold properties, because I'm dealing with the socializer and all she wants to know is how the quinceañera went this past weekend. Like, for real, that's all she wants to know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being real with you guys. Okay. So obviously you have to come prepared, but if you know who you're dealing with, well, now I'm like, you know what? I brought you the centerpiece to the quinceañera, and that's what she's happy about. You know what I mean? Like, we're friends, we're good. So know who you're talking to. Make it a game with yourself. Alvaro and Michelle, make it a game between you guys, between each other, because you have somebody to bounce it off of. Norma, teach this to Erica, teach it to your husband. Angie, teach it to your husband. Like, everybody, make it a game and try to figure it out, because it's really just going to help you become better at distinguishing, like, who am I talking to? And then it kind of gets a little fun. Honestly, ever since I learned this, I just feel like I have better relationships with people, because I understand what they like and they appreciate, and I just stick to that. You know what I mean? And then some of the people that you're talking to, they're going to understand this about you also. We're not the only people that learn this. There's a lot of people that learn this, and you'll know, because they'll figure out what kind of personality you are, and then they'll cater to that. And it's a really nice way for you to build relationships. Okay. How much time do we have, or where are we at?
It is 11. Exactly.
It's 11. So, this we'll finish off with this slide. I talked to you guys about the DISC assessment. That's essentially about the personality types. And then utilizing the DISC assessment basically says there's, you know what? Ugh, let me go to the next one. No. There. Okay, so basically, how do you use it? Again, figure out which personality is their dominant personality, which one is the strongest. Influence. So this is how you're going to be able to better influence how the communication goes. Steadiness and compliance. So again, the personalities is just going to allow you to have this steady conversation with them and then to get them to comply with whatever it is that you are advising them to do. So all of this comes together with getting you to close the sale at the end of the day, getting you to close the sale. Of course, keep in mind, you're going to have some wins and you're going to have some losses. You're not going to win them all. There's still going to be people that say no to you, okay? But for every no that you get, you're that much closer to a yes. So please don't let the no's discourage you. We're going to get a lot more no's than we get yeses. But once you're in that appointment, once you get that appointment and you know and understand this, you should at least be capturing a client. Maybe not today, but in the near future. Okay, because everybody's timeline is a little bit different. So sometimes you'll have a consultation and they're just not ready today, but that doesn't mean that they're not your client for life. If you guys can really master this and then go and master your scripts when it comes to like, what is it exactly I'm going to say during a buyer's consultation, or what is it exactly that I'm going to say during a listing consultation, you guys are golden. You guys are golden, because after that, they're yours. They're yours, and they're yours for life. Okay. We will be getting into what the buyer's consultation looks like, the seller's consultation looks like. We're going to have a few different trainings on the listing consultations. So get ready. We're barely starting. Like we're barely at the tip of the iceberg. You guys are getting the basic of basics right now. And already I can see that you guys are using it and that it's helping you in your business. So keep using it. Keep allowing it to help you in your business, and keep doing your Real T1 goals: 3 calls, 3 new contacts, and 6 letters. Okay. Thank you cards. Thank you gifts. There's so many reasons and so many people that we can say thank you to. I just thought of one. I thought of one that I was supposed to tell you, and I can't think of it right now. I'll think about it. But as you go through your day, you'll notice that there's just people that you can say thank you to. There's people that you can reach out to. Whenever you get that the little thought in your head that's like, I wonder how so-and-so's doing. Pick up the phone and call them. Pick up the phone and call them. Okay. This is relationship building 101. Okay. Think about it as relationship building. Don't think about it like I'm here to get a sale or I'm calling them to get a sale. You're building a relationship. And part of building a relationship is reaching out to these people that you love and you care about and you think about, or that you haven't seen in a while. And trust me, the sales will come. Make sure that you're working your Ford: family, occupation, recreation, desire, dream. And then remind them, hey, I'm still in real estate. Hey, one of my goals this year is to sell 20 houses. Hey, I'm doing an open house this weekend. If you and the family are free, drop by, check it out. Even if they're not interested, if they're your friends, they'll stop by. If they're in the area, you know? So anyways, I hope you guys got a lot out of this training. This is definitely one of my favorite trainings because like I said, this has helped me build better relationships. It's helped me understand people better. It's been a game changer for my business. So I really hope and pray that you guys use what we went over to your benefit. And I would love to hear your success stories on Monday. But before we leave, does anybody have any listings coming up that the team should know about that we can help you with, or any buyers that you're working with that are a little difficult to find a property for that maybe we can help you with?
I'm gonna have a property with 3 apartments.
3 apartments? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where is this?
It's in Wyoming and Piedras. It will be for about 150.
150. What are they? 1 bedrooms?
Yeah, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 3 of them.
Okay. What's the condition of it?
It's they are already being renewed.
Okay.
And they are in very good condition.
Really?
Are they rented?
Yeah, do they have
No.
tenants?
No rent.
No tenants? Okay. Are you able to give us the address yet or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
that's
yet.
fine.
I think in 1.5 weeks I'll
Okay.
be able to give you
Lorena, tell us, because maybe it can be good for a client, for one client.
Yeah, I think
Let
me and
us
Ethel are
know.
thinking of
Yeah.
the same client. We have a
Yeah.
client that we think
It can be a good deal for him.
They are already installing the tile, and I'm gonna be there Sunday. I told you.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else? Thank you so much, Lorena, for sharing that.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any listings coming up that they would like for us to know about, or maybe any buyers that you're having a really hard time with? One of us might know of a listing that you guys don't know about. Nope. Okay. All right, guys. Oh, Blanca?
Yeah. Well, I cannot list. Hi, everybody. I
Hello.
cannot list this house, this condo. Well, it's a townhome, but I cannot list it. But I don't know how long will it be, but I can. Oh my God. Well, it's on Silver Springs. It's a townhome. A townhouse is going to be about 260. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it is updated. It's got granite, and it's got wood floor, and it's a very nice home. I put the pictures on our WhatsApp chat,
Okay.
and the people are still living there, and I cannot list it at this time because as I told you, the people is still living there, and they don't want, they're old people, and they don't want anybody to be in and out.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they,
But it's
so are you currently looking for somewhere for them to move into?
Yep.
What's their situation? Are they looking for a home to buy, or are they relocating into maybe like a temporary living, a housing?
No, they're looking for a home to buy.
For a home to buy.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they don't want to. They don't want like those kind of with a with a home association.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I don't know. That's
So maybe something smaller, like a single story, small.
A single story, exactly. They want a single story.
On the west side?
On the west side. And one of the things on this townhouse is that the master is downstairs.
Okay. Okay, so if anybody has a nice, cute, little single story, smaller home coming up on the west side also, maybe you can shoot it out to Ms. Blanca so that she can get her townhome up also for us. So sounds awesome. You guys are rocking it. I'm so excited for this year. I think January is definitely, we have that momentum going. So let's keep it up. Remember, don't let the the bad days bring you down, we're gonna have a couple of bad days, we're gonna have a couple of slow days, but you just get to bed, remind yourself that the day is over, what happened or didn't happen is over, and tomorrow's gonna be a beautiful day. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys again on Monday morning at 11 a.m. 11, please, bright and early. I want to hear all about what you guys do this weekend. So, you know, make stuff happen, bring in, you know, your stories of what's going on, what's not going on. There's a lot of realtors here on these trainings that can help you out. It's not just me. There's a team of us and we're all over El Paso. So let's help each other out, okay? Bye, guys. I will see you guys
Thank you.
Monday.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have a good day.